Thomas and Toby were conversating in the Farquhar sheds one night. Toby told Thomas about the police officer at the intersection of line leading to the quarry. Thomas had a run-in with the officer, and the officer labeled Thomas as a regular lawbreaker. "Today," Toby said to Thomas, "he said that us engines are unreliable and noisy. Always disturbing the peace, he says." "Bother that officer," replied Thomas. "Us engines can be really useful. Just he wait and see." But he didn't know how to prove it. The next day, Thomas stood at the top station of his branch line. He was rested before the run back down the valley. But he grumbled to his driver and fireman about the officer. The guard then came into the midst of their conversation with startling news. "Speaking of the officer," he began, "did you know that his firm was burglarized last night?" The mood in the air changed drastically. "You mean the station master?" the driver asked. "The very same," answered the guard. "I didn't know he had anything worth stealing," replied the fireman. "He's won cups for gardening," continued the guard. "All taken, and the scoundrels had the cheek to pinch his car to take them away in." "Not that new one he's so proud of," said the driver. The guard nodded, and at that moment the signal arm dropped. The guard blew his whistle, waved his green flag, and Thomas set off. By the time they were through the tunnel, the train was running nicely. Rail and road were beside each other here. Thomas remembered his race with Bertie the bus. He only won because he was able to go through the tunnel while Bertie had to go over it. Thomas puffed happily along his branch line when all of a sudden, a flash of color on the road ahead caught his eye. He tried to go faster to take a closer look. "Steady, Thomas," called out his driver. "We have plenty of time." "Can't we get closer to that car?" panted Thomas. "It looks like station masters to me." "Lots of cars look like that," laughed the driver. But he opened the regulator and began to draw level. There were two men in the car. Upon seeing Thomas, they began to go faster. "That's the car, right?" exclaimed the driver. "And those must be the thieves." The race was on. "We won't be able to stop them," said the driver, "and they'll be long gone before the next station." The fireman then thought of an idea as he grabbed a pencil, paper, and his empty lunch tin. "We'll write a message and throw it to the next signal box," explained the fireman as he wrote quickly. He then put it in his lunch tin as Thomas slowed down towards the signal box. Thomas whistled as loud as he could for the signal. The fireman threw the box up to him, and both driver and fireman yelled, "Police!" at the top of their voices. By now, the stolen car was long gone, and Thomas didn't see it again. Luckily, the signalman phoned the police, and the thieves were caught at a roadblock a while down the road. That afternoon, the van controller traveled with Andy to Farquhar to bring the good news. He, the station master, and the police officer were there. Sir Topham Hatt told the passengers the whole story, and the station master thanked Thomas and his crew for their prompt action. The passengers cheered, and cheered even louder when they heard that the cups were found, undamaged, in the sack in the boot of the car. "Long ago," began the van controller, "Thomas showed how valuable he was to the smooth running of my railway. I am sure we can all agree that Thomas once again proved that he is really useful. He certainly has to me, said the police officer. From lawbreaker to law enforcer. 3 cheers for Thomas! The passengers cheered, but there was no cheer louder than the one from Thomas's own whistle. Fuckity fuck you, copper. Fuck you and your Child Protection Act.